By definition, an antenna is a metal whip designed to receive and transmit radio signals within a given area.
It's BS in the Morning on KSLQ and Westplex 1071.
I can't do it. Hi, everyone. This is BS in... Nope. Well, it is BS in the Morning. But it's BS.Show. I am Brad. He is Shelley. And together we make BS. I was instructed not to talk until the song ended. But I thought that he was actually going to talk to let me know that the song ended. But that clearly did not happen. So how was your weekend? Brad, are you there? Are you going to grace the airways with your presence today? I knew you were going to do that because I heard you go, squitch, squitch, squitch.
What?
Yep. How was your weekend?
What?
Okay.
You're a non-believer. Why should we waste time on Kabuki?
What is Kabuki anyway? Is it a card game or is it a drink?
Congratulations, butthead.
Oh, Brad.
Must still be living in their parents' basement.
Failure to launch. We were talking about that yesterday. Failure to launch. They've been a PETA. What? Don't piece part match it together. What? I mean, just do the whole thing. We must talk about some of the weirdest things because you get drops I don't even know I said. All we want to do is... Oh, was that about you?
They're beating on him like he stole Christmas.
Okay, let's go to big girls for 200.
Okay, the answer there, skinny women can do this for you. Doug.
What is not a damn thing?
Yeah, you damn right.
Woohoo! Oh, that is so funny.
And by the way, my Corvette's in a locked garage, okay? So it's not like you're sitting out in the street.
I just know that the monkeys throw poo at you. Oh, yeah. They do. I think I had PTSD over it, actually. If you're drunk, nothing is better than biscuits and gravy from Denny's. Well, Brad won't do the show without me. I won't do the show without him because I can't touch the buttons. So if he doesn't come on here real soon, I'm probably going to bid you all adieu and tell you to have a good day, and I'll move on.
Woohoo!
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
you're really not.
First off, it's nasty out there this morning. Trust me, I know. I was out last night when it was freezing raining. You know, it freezing rained on and off all day yesterday. Did you know that? Were you out and about yesterday?
I was not.
It was freezing raining, you know, depending on where you're at. I got it in the morning, yesterday morning. I got it like in the afternoon. And then last night when I went out to get something to eat, I'm going like, okay, this is not going to be good. I walked up to my car a little bit uphill, and I'm going, okay, this is not going to be good. So instead of taking the two-wheel drive car, I switched to the four-wheel drive car, and it did much better. And still, it did that till the freezing rain till, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 o'clock last night, and then the little snow came. So you got snow on top of freezing rain, tons of accidents around the area. I don't think, you know, Shelley, if you were out there right now on the highway, you would be so frustrated. You know why?
Why?
Because you can't go anywhere close to the speed limit. You know, I mean, you'd be driving along at 364 at like 35 miles an hour, and you'd be going, I can't believe I'm going this slow.
I'd be going, oh my God, is this how Brad really drives every day?
I don't drive
How
like
does
that.
he do
I don't
this?
drive like that. Be careful out there. Seriously, it's not a good situation. The temperature is, geez, you know, here we go. Saturday, I was out with no car. No car, no coat on Saturday. I'm working outside, no coat, just in my shirt and a T-shirt on. I'm going like, man, this is beautiful. Yesterday, not so good. You know what I mean? It's nasty. and it's cold. What's the official temperature? I think it's just barely into the 20s. Let me look where the official temperature is. Jennifer said a couple more. It's 20. It's exactly 20 right now, so I was pretty close on that. I said barely into the 20s. Man, in fact, when I say that's my meteorology training, my Mississippi State University, Mississippi, yeah, that's right, Mississippi State University, where I went for my meteorology training, but I never finished. Anyway, officially 20 degrees, officially snow at the airport.
Can we circle back?
Yeah, go ahead.
So you've always said that.
Yeah.
You never finished.
I never finished.
But you never said why.
I got busy with my business.
Oh.
Yeah, I got super busy with my business, and things changed for me. Matter of fact, that's sort of, I went through a metamorphosis in my life. It was probably, I have to tell you, probably the most depressing time of my life. Most depressing time of my life.
Well, what happened?
I sold my business. I had done a terrible thing as a business person. I'd fallen in love with my business, and I didn't have my business anymore. The crazy part of it is when I had my business, I had no money. Then I had no business, but I had money. I was miserable. And nobody could give me any counsel. If I had friends of mine go, hey, man, what's going on? You're like really depressed. Oh, I sold my business and made some money. Yeah. And the problem with that is, I miss my business.
You were probably just bored to tears.
I was. No, I learned my lesson.
I can see that.
I told the story. I used to read Inc. magazine. And if any of you out there are like entrepreneurs, Inc. has been around a long time. It's made for like small business people, specifically entrepreneurs. And there was this article I read that literally changed my life. To this day, it's changed my life. And it was written by...
For the good?
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people that know me think it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. But I read this article about the fact that, and it was interesting because keep in mind, this was a long time ago. This was the internet was around. This was like back in 1995, 1996. But the internet was like nothing what it is like today. And I read this article in Inc. magazine. When you actually used to get magazines in the mail and you sit down and read them, I had a subscription to Inc. magazine. And I read this story, and this guy talked about two groups of people in business who go into severe depression. And that was me. And the one group was people who had started their own business and had become so successful that the business didn't need them anymore. They had a guy that ran it or a gal that ran it, and everything ran fine. And if they showed up for work or they did show up for work, it didn't make any difference because the business just kept moving along, okay? And the other one was me, somebody who'd started a business, grown it, started in my garage up in Hazelwood. 10 years later.
Along with Frank Zappa?
No. 10 years later.
Jammin' in Joe Garage?
10 years later, I had 30 people working for me. I sold my business, had money. I was depressed. And it was written by a guy at the time. It just said Dr. So-and-so. Okay? And I looked up his name. Matter of fact, this is back in the day. I looked up his name by calling. He said he was in Boston. And I found out the area code for Boston. Back in the day, you had to have like a little sheet of paper, had all the area codes on it. Found out the area code for Boston. Called up.
Yep.
Remember the old deal where you call the area code and then 555-1212, you get the long distance information. Okay, I got the number for him. I called the number, and lady answered, and it turns out this guy is a psychiatrist who's on the teaching staff at Harvard. So he's an MD, and he's on the teaching staff at Harvard. Okay, so. I said to him, I can't remember the guy's name anymore. I said to the lady receptionist, I said, hey, I just wanted to call and tell you that I read this article that your doctor that you work for wrote in Inc. magazine. She said, oh, did you enjoy it? Yes, I very much did. And I said, please pass along the fact that it has really helped me, and I think this is what I need to move forward from this point. And she says, okay, let me get your name and phone number in case the doctor would like to call you back. I go, you're not going to call me back. She go, no, seriously, give me your name and phone number. I gave her my name, gave her my phone number. 5 minutes later, he calls me back. And he tells me about how he is, yes, he's an MD. Yes, he's got a degree from Harvard. He's got an MD from Harvard. He teaches at Harvard Medical School, psychiatrist. He's written many articles. He enjoyed reading. He enjoys the business sector, and he writes many articles. He's been a contributing editor to various books, and he's had articles published from the Wall Street Journal and Forbes and Fortune and stuff like that, Inc. magazine. And he told me that of all the articles he'd ever written, this one, by far got the most response. He had all sorts of people calling him. And remember, this is back in the day where if you wanted to call somebody, you had to work on it. Now you just grab your phone and you see somebody posted something on Facebook. You say, you idiot, or whatever. You flame them. Back in the day, you had to work at it, and it changed my life. And that's part of the reason why. And in that same period of time, not too long after that, my parents retired. And I saw them drastically change once they retired. Because guess what? They didn't have a challenge anymore. My dad didn't have to get up to go to work every day. My mom didn't have to get up to go to work every day. They could do anything they wanted. They could just lounge around the house all day, which some days they did. And some days they, did nothing. Some days they did a little. And I saw them really decline. I mean, physically, my dad, you know this. I mean, maybe it strikes too close to home with your husband, and I apologize if this bothers you, but my dad he was already a type 2 diabetic, became a very bad diabetic because he wasn't moving around much, and he wasn't watching his diet as much as he should have, and he deteriorated because of that. My mom just went batty. I mean, she just went nuts. Honestly, she just went crazy. I'm telling you. I mean, went off the deep end. And I thought to myself, retirement. And it wasn't too long after that Uncle Brad woke up one morning and turned on the TV on a Sunday morning where I used to watch all the preacher shows. And here's the preacher talking about how retirement is ungodly. Retirement is selfish. Retirement is the worst thing you can do. There's nothing in the Bible that talks about retirement because there's no retirement back then. Jesus didn't retire, He was killed on the job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he didn't retire. I'm going to retire. Moses didn't retire. None of those guys retired. They worked to the day they died. And once again, look what they did. So what do? If you listen to talk radio like I do on the weekends, every other stupid show on 97.1 and KMOX and KTRS is, hi, I'm Joe Smith, and I'm going to teach you how to retire. Hey, yeah, retirement's great. You can do anything you want. If you want to get up and drink coffee all day, you can do that. If you want to blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of this. So that's how I ended up the way I am. Is that a terrible thing to say?
No, it's not a terrible thing to say.
I think the problem is that too many people torture themselves on a daily basis at a job or profession or something they don't like. Well, how many, you work for the government. I mean, how many government workers said, well, I'm going to put what'd you have to have, full retirement at 30 for the government? How many years was it the retirement where you're a government when you worked there?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Because I went out and, I retired in a different way. My cousin started working for Southwestern Bell when there was a Southwestern Bell when he was 18. Okay, retired it was 30 years. He retired at 48. He could do whatever he wanted. He died 2 years later. Died at 50. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, was that just a coincidence? I say not. My daddy used to say, when the good Lord wants you, he wants you.
But see, the problem is, if you have a job you hate, why would you torture yourself? Or let's say it's 30 years to retirement, and at 5 years in, you start to hate your job. Like, well, I got 25 years. It's like teachers. Like even to the point where I have my niece on, and I ask her how, she's a teacher, how long to retirement? She can give me the years and the months. Now, if someone could give you years and months, if someone said to you, hey, Shelley, I heard you going on vacation down to Disney World. When is that? And you go, well, it's 2 months and 3 days from today. It's something you're looking forward to, right?
To retirement?
Well, no. The point
Not
is,
after you.
No, the point, if someone says to you, they know, like if, hey, if, a woman getting married, hey, when are you getting married? Oh, a year, 2 months, 3 hours, 2 days, 3 hours, 42 minutes. Okay, you're really looking for, yes, I can't wait. That's my point. The point is if your life revolves around the next thing in your life, which is years ahead, and you're not happy now, but you will be happy then, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, do it now.
Exactly.
Do it now. Get a change of job.
Enjoy your life.
Change of venue.
Right. Enjoy your life now.
Life
Don't be miserable. I mean, look what's happening, and we'll talk about this next hour. Look what's happening with police departments all over the country. Okay, and even more so after what happened Friday with the situation in Memphis. There are cops that are going like, okay, I'm done with this job. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm out of here. And some of them aren't even close to retirement. They're just saying, can't do it anymore. I'm tired of always being, accused by everybody of being a bad guy. I'm tired of trying to help people when all people are doing is accuse me of being racist and white supremacist, blah, 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 and trying to, kill black people. I'm tired of it. I'm out of here. And, they quit. I mean, that's why none of the police departments can hire anybody. I mean, like the St. Louis Police Department is 400 officers short now. And somebody told me there's a great big class. There was like 2 or 3 years in a row where they hired each year they put like 125 people on the force. And I think that's coming up, starts like next year. So that like next year, they'll be, it's the retirement age. These guys, hey man, I'm out of here, and let's say they started as a cop when they were 21. I don't know what it is with city police. I have to find out. It might be 20 years. It might be 20 years you can do retirement at 20. So in other words,
in the government, I don't remember specifically, but I know the air traffic controllers, it's a mandatory retirement for them at a certain age.
56.
It's not like that way for technical operations.
Oh, I know. 56. 56. They have to, because one of my son's friend's father, he was in Cub Scouts with my son, and his father was an ATC out at Lambert. And he told me 56. At the time, I think he was 44, 45, so he had like another 11 years to go. And they deem it, and you know what, once again.
So how old?
There are people that are 56 that are sharp as a tack, and they're 56 that don't know, they can't put their shoes on the right feet. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually true. I want to talk about my weekend.
Well,
later.
Well, let's do a break here. We got to do a break because of you, we went along, and it's always you that does this.
Why is it because of me?
Because
I actually spoke.
Congratulations, butthead.
You're right. Yeah.
You said it on me again.
Congratulations, butthead.
Wow, the gauntlet's been thrown. Okay. They've been impeded.
Wouldn't she say to you?
My dad.
Oh, hold on. Wouldn't she say to you, Shelley?
Woohoo!
Well, wouldn't she say to you?
My dad.
Oh, hold on. Wouldn't she say to you, Shelley? That's the original cut where you didn't believe I pulled that off of you, which is definitely here. Once again, let's play it again. One more time.
Woohoo!
Well, wouldn't she say to you?
My dad.
Oh, hold on. Wouldn't she say to you, Shelley? That's the original cut from the show, and then this is the one I pulled. I pulled the first one.
Woohoo!
And I just compressed it a little bit to make it a little bit more listenable. But other than that, it's the same one. Okay, now we have to take a break. Are you still there? She's gone. I played.
Congratulations, butthead.
Too many times. Okay, it's 6:33. It is BS.Show. I'm Shelley. She's Brad. Together we make BS. 6:38. Now, Shelley, you wanted me to, you're going to tell a story?
I do.
Okay.
So, well, first of all, how was your weekend?
It kind of sucked, to be honest with you, but that's a whole other story.
I'm sorry for that.
I put together a weekend to-do list, and I barely got into it because I got sidetracked on a couple different crazy, stupid projects.
Well, what sidetracked you?
Well, you know what? There's certain things you...
It wasn't me that hijacked your day this time.
There's certain things you look... Well, first off, once again, we have, and once again, I will say this publicly, we are having some problems with this very radio station that, for some crazy reason, it drops off the air. We have a computer control that runs the radio station at the transmitter site, and for some crazy reason, matter of fact, I thought I had it fixed because it had worked really well Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because last week, starting a week ago Friday, or actually a week ago Thursday, it dropped off the air every single day, and I had to physically go to the transmitter site, and all I do is unplug one piece of equipment and plug it back in, and everything just reboots itself, and it's fine. Well, I had to do that yesterday, which started my day off on the wrong foot, and I thought I had it fixed, but apparently I don't. Now, this is interesting because this is equipment that has run flawlessly for almost 3+ years now, and all of a sudden it's just showing its hind end, shall we say? You know what I mean?
It's being cantankerous.
It's being cantankerous. And the interesting thing is, I think I know which piece of the equipment is, and I shot screenshots of all the programming, sent it to the manufacturer, who has been very, very, very helpful. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you. And they think it might be the actual internet. So, of course, you know how that goes.
The internet's get you every time.
Well,
okay, let me ask you another question.
Okay, go ahead.
If you had a chance to tell a teacher, any teacher, which I think I know which one you would pick, If you had a chance to go to be able to tell them how they affected your life,
Yeah.
would you love to have that moment?
No, because every teacher screwed my life up.
Uh-huh. Okay, so Dr. Camille Winter would be yours, I think.
Well, no, I have teachers in high school. I have teachers in, as a matter of fact, I think I told you
I'm sure you did have teachers in high school, Brad.
No. I mean, I had some teachers in high school that made my life miserable.
We all had teachers in life that made our lives miserable.
And-
That's what they did back
Well,
then.
I don't understand why they
But
do
do
that.
you know what?
What?
The kids behaved.
No, it wasn't this. It was my senior year was. I told this story, stupid story before.
Brad, you weren't even supposed to be there.
I
You
know.
would already have graduated.
That's why I was miserable
Mister,
my
I
senior
got
year.
my master's when I was 12.
I had not one, not two, but three teachers call me into their classroom on their off hours, whatever the heck they call it, their free hour. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And try to convince me that my problem was I wasn't accepting God. Which today, now, those teachers would be fired. You know what I mean? All I have to do is just go down to the principal. Hey, look at this little brochure Mrs. So-and-so gave me. Oh, we'll fire her right away. She's trying to teach. She's trying to help you, trying to get God in your life. Well, that's not allowed here. We don't allow that. We can, if that teacher told you were the wrong sex and you should have your operation and you should take hormones, that would be okay. But teach you about God? Oh, instant firing. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Okay, so clearly you're not going to want to play. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell my story.
No, I will play. There have been teachers been influential, but once again, the problem is that when you say that, I think of the negative things. Now, maybe it's because
you think of what, please?
The negative aspects.
I know you do. What is up with that?
I had.
We all had a bad childhood, Brad.
No. I had a good English teacher in junior high who encouraged me to write and to journal, and that helped me quite a bit. And to write down my creative, goofy ideas and stuff like that, and that has somewhat served me well through the years. Although that is also a curse.
Well, you don't do it anymore.
No. I mean, being creative is a curse. Because you know why that is?
No, I don't.
Because when you're creative, you're doing things that other people aren't doing, and other people are taught to be just, cadets, to march in step, to where everybody wears.
Well, not the people that I've been dealing with lately.
Everybody wears the same clothing. Everybody does the same thing.
They're all ready to jump on the bandwagon.
Who's that?
For their own piece, for their own. Never mind.
Are you talking about LBB?
Anyway, let me tell my story about the weekend.
Oh, and by the way, I have a bone to pick with you about that.
Yeah, I know. Let's not talk about it on here. Anyway, so it's bittersweet.
Okay.
This story. So I grew up in Clayton.
Yes.
And
rich girl. She's a rich girl.
Okay, so I grew up in Clayton, and therefore I went to the Clayton School District. Well, I grew up in this little subdivision that had its own grade school.
And it's gone now, isn't it? Did they?
It's now, yeah. The grade school is now. It was called McMorrow.
But isn't your subdivision gone too?
The grade school now is.
It's a hotel, isn't it?
It is.
Extended stay place, isn't it? One of those places.
Yeah, it's the Residence Inn.
Yeah, right. But wasn't your subdivision eaten up by the Galleria too? Or
No.
Is your house still there?
My house is still there.
Oh, okay.
Some of the places were eaten up by how they wanted to bring how they wanted to like edge the highway.
Right, Highway 40. When and
Yeah.
they took out.
Yes,
I took out some of those houses a long time ago when they put through 725.
Yes.
Yes, which is now 170. That's old school. People go 725. What's that?
That's 170 before it passed Page.
Right. The old days 725. The southern section of what is now 170 from Page down to 40 used to be called 725, and that's where it started. It started and ended right at Page. So when you went north on that hurt. When you went north on what is now 170, back in the day, it ended at Page. You have to get off at Page.
It did.
Right.
And in my mind, it will always be 725.
And there was a reason for that. You know the reason for that?
Yeah, it was called the Inner Belt.
No, the reason it ended at Page.
Probably because there was houses there.
No, because life north of Page was like the Wild West. If you lived in NoCo, You know, like you
so?
ultimately did. It was the Wild West. You know, I mean, I still remember on my street growing up in North County, I remember the stagecoaches that used to come through. The Wells Fargo guy. Matter of fact,
You're so full of
you
crap.
think I'm kidding?
So let me finish my story.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so anyway, I had this nemesis who always felt it necessary to beat me up.
Physically?
Yes.
Okay. And this is a true story.
This is a true story.
Okay.
And anyway, to make a long story short,
And you know what? I can summarize the story in 4 words. Can I give you the 4 words? What Shelley's going to tell?
what?
4 words. She just said she had a nemesis, always beat her up. 4 words that changed her life. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah, right. Okay, it's I don't want to focus on the fact that he beat the crap out of me all the time.
It was a dude?
What I want to focus on.
It was a dude?
Yeah.
Oh, this is not good. Okay, keep going.
Okay. But his whole family was troubled. It was almost,
Yeah.
and everybody knew it. See, things went on back then that go on now. It's just that back then people didn't talk about it.
I didn't know any of my relatives lived in Clayton. I didn't know about that.
What?
Never mind. Keep going.
Whatever. Anywho, so I went to my 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Dulles, passed away, but she was in her 90s.
Okay.
A life well lived and a God well served. And so it was her wake on Saturday.
Okay.
So I went there, and there were several people that were her kids in.
Her students.
Yes.
And you went there, and that guy was there, and you beat the crap out of him in the parking lot at the funeral home, right?
No, he wasn't there.
Oh.
And no, I probably wouldn't have done that. But okay, you're not going to let me finish.
No, go
my story,
ahead.
are you?
No, go ahead. I won't say another thing. I'll shut up.
Uh-huh, sure. Okay. Anyway, so I went to say goodbye to Miss Dulles. There were other kids, other people that were in her life that she taught at McMorrow. And I mean, they were from the class of, the 60s, the 70s. And one of the teachers, there was another teacher that was with Miss Dulles, and her name was Mrs. Lehman. And Mrs. Lehman really did something for me that didn't change my life, but it gave me solace throughout my life. And I got the chance to tell her because Miss Lehman was there.
How old is she, do you think?
92.
Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Wow.
And smart as a whip.
And she's been retired for what, 50 years now?
I don't know if it's been 50, but it's been a while. But she always kept, like Mrs. Dulles, she always kept busy. She had a gardening club that she went to. She was very much a woman's advocate, which how she touched me is she told me about my period. And that's something that had she not done that, I probably would have never known about it, and I would have thought I was dying. And that was very important back then. So teachers, back then, it really did take a village to raise a child. And these teachers were not only, and this is when the latchkey, it was kind of like in the transition when the latchkey and the stay-at-home mom and the working mom, they were kind of, changing. And so Miss Lehman, see, now you're not talking and now you're making me feel weird.
I told you I wasn't going to bother you. I'm a man of my word.
Pie crust promise easily made, easily broken.
What? That saying is so weird. I still don't understand. I still don't understand that. Maybe I don't understand because I don't like pie crust.
You don't like what?
I don't like pie. I'm the only guy in the world. If you said to me, Hey,
You don't like pie? What
I
kind of man
hate-
doesn't like pie?
I hate pie.
I don't know how I feel about you
If you
now,
put me
Brad.
on the pie diet, I would die of starvation because I wouldn't eat it. I don't like pie. I've never had. I mean, some say, "Oh, I've got some great pie." Hey, good. Give it to somebody else. I don't want it. I have no interest in pie. I don't care what it is. If you say pie,
You have to have pie. Pie.
no, you don't.
Pie is like.
No, you don't. You purposely.
You do.
You don't have to have pie. I do fine without pie.
You should try some pie.
I don't. I'm not.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to finish my story because
Keep
I'm a
going.
terrible storyteller.
Keep going.
But I got to see Miss Lehman. I got to say goodbye to Mrs. Dulles. I met some of the McMorrow family, air quote, from years gone by. And I got to tell Miss Lehman that I had this nemesis. His name was Fred Clough. He beat me up all the time.
Fred,
Tommy.
what's his name again?
Fred.
Fred, what's the last name?
I'm not going to do it.
You said it. Clef? C-L-E-F?
No, I'm not going to just say.
You say it again. You said it a minute ago.
I know, but it's not going to happen.
And I'm looking up right now. Yeah, I'm Googling him right now.
Okay, yeah, whatever.
Oh, my
Anyway,
God. Hold on a
there
minute.
was this other
I just-
boy that was a friend of Fred's.
I just found
And
it.
I was walking down the hall, and he shared a locker with Fred. So I was walking down the hall, and Tommy was sitting at the locker. And so I didn't think anything of it. This was in 5th grade, Miss Lehman's class. I didn't think anything of it. Well, that's why Fred beat me up this time, was because he had some silver dollar coins, and he brought them to school, and he evidently showed them to Tommy, and Tommy stole them, and I was a scapegoat because I happened to be walking down the hall, and nobody would believe me. Anyway, to make a long story short, Miss Lehman had a trial in our classroom. And she was the judge. No, there was a judge. She was just the facilitator, but she picked people like Dean Bellows was my, God rest his soul. Dean Bellows was my attorney. And I can't remember the other's attorney, but that really did, it really touched my heart. And I've carried that with me for all this time since 5th grade.
Well, you didn't have to worry about it because I looked him up. Fred died in 1993.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he's born in 1911. That one, the year you were born? Born in
Yeah,
1911.
that's the year I was born.
Died in 1993. He was 82. He died in Germany.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's gone.
Well, thank you for looking that up, Brad, because now I feel better.
Yeah. And here he is in the 1940 census. Record and find family members. He's been all over the place. Here's his obituaries at legacy.com. He was a berater, SAP berater.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's in Germany. I don't know what it is. Here's another guy. Is C-Pro Industry Project Solution. I can't read it. It's all in German. Fred Clough was born circa 1911. He beat up Shelley in 1986. And he's always been proud of that. Matter of fact, his last words were, "I'm glad I beat the hell out of Shelley."
Yeah, well, it couldn't have been 86 because I already had a 3-year-old by then.
Okay, we have to take a break. I'm sorry, I just snorted.
Snorter.
I'm sorry. It's
You're just a snorter.
Yeah, it's 6:54. We're way behind.
Your fault.
It is BS.Show 6:58. Shelley, we are going to do the shortest break we've ever done. You know why?
Why?
Because we went long in the last one.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
See, you just don't you need to not let me talk.
Well, no way. If you didn't talk, it wouldn't be BS. Wouldn't be the BS
yeah, it
show.
would.
No, it wouldn't be the BS show. I'm telling you.
We have enough BS for both of us, hon.
I do?
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about?
Really?
What's that? What that little kid say? What's wrong with you, Harold? What's wrong with you? What?
No. What do you talk about, Willis?
Yeah, there you go.
What was his name?
One of those kid actors that was so cute
He
and cuddly.
wasn't a kid actor. He was an adult.
And then when he grew up, he became
Rodney Allen Rippey.
Yeah, became a serial murderer. You know, that's the way they all
He
turn out.
did not.
Yeah, all those kid actors, they're all whacked in the head. Become.
You know, it's sad to say, But they really kind of are.
Yeah, they're all messed up as adults.
They really are.
Look at Leif Garrett, who
But
I met once upon a time.
Do what?
I met Leif Garrett. I sat next to him. I actually shook his hand and talked to him face to face. Leif Garrett. And look at his life and look at my life. Some people say they both got screwed up. Okay, now we have to take a break again. It's 6:59.
Boom.
Have you heard about Salt River Automotive? Not only are we open for business and ready to serve you, we are sponsors of the BS in the Morning show on Westplex 107.1. Check us out on Facebook at Salt River Automotive LLC. See you soon.